She wants to make sure people realize you're just human and not a cyborg.
You're not a wizard, Maya.
Yeah, this is nothing that has is dad to you, sauce.
Dun, dun, dun.
This is UnpauseIt, a podcast by a family of geeks.
I'm Lady Disdain, and I'm 43 years old.
I am the sauce underscore, and I am 11
Underscore the data bytes. 41.
I'm Furious Girl, and I am 9.
This is an immediate reaction podcast immediately after seeing the theater release of an Avengers movie. That's the first instance that this has happened in our whole rundown of doing movie reviews. So there are going to be spoilers in this podcast all throughout. If you have not yet seen this movie, you should stop and only start it up again after you have seen Black Panther, unless, again, you don't care about spoilers, but that's what you're about to get here.
Right. 3, 2, 1, here we go. This is our Black Panther podcast. UnpauseIt number 975.
Lies.
Lies. Don't know which one this is.
This is actually going to be in order. So if you're listening to this podcast, it should be numbered at what point it occurs in the release order of the Avengers Marvel series.
Number 18.
Is it number 18?
Yes, it is.
It says it right there on our window.
Oh, brilliant. So this is number 18.
Okay. Number 19 will be Avengers Infinity War. Number 17 was Thor Ragnarok. Just kind of bookending this movie here. This is a
Spoilers Rife podcast.
Spoilers Rife podcast. I was talking about the movie itself, though. It is a spiritual sequel to Captain America Civil War.
Yes.
Insofar as that's where Black Panther, T'Challa, and T'Chaka are introduced to us as audience members. We see them there. We see the catalyst for the coronation of T'Challa. Hey, K and L are very close in the alphabet. You can forgive me if I mess that up. I could not even say Nokia. I kept saying Nokia, and the phone kept popping up in my head. And the phone is very tough, too.
Hi. What?
There's a phone older than you that would still work.
That's true.
Oh my god.
Right, we have just seen Black Panther in the theaters. We saw it at probably not a very good theater.
Yeah, I left a Facebook review for them. We went to the Denver Pavilions United Artists Theater. We've been there before. Just, I swear, guys, do better. The projection, we have decided, I mean, really, I want to go see this movie again at another theater because the projection on the screen was lacking.
Speaking of that, I felt disappointed in the movie because the end battle was very Spider-Man 3. It was choppy. I couldn't see what's going on. And I think that was actually the theater because I watched a small excerpt without sound just to get my mind refreshed on the movie, and it was clear as a bell on my iPad.
We're going to have to go see it again.
Yeah, we're going to have to see it again. And we will buy this movie because we buy all these movies, and we're doing podcasts and movies like this. And we will watch it on our 4K TV downstairs in the Geek Den, or whatever we're going to call that.
And then we'll probably watch it upstairs on our other TV.
We'll watch it lots of watching.
Probably. But we'll probably watch Thor Ragnarok next, so that's coming out next on the old videos.
And the cat will watch this with us, hopefully. I mean, he didn't watch the last one that we had.
Yeah, this is starring Chadwick Boseman, Michael B. Jordan, Lupita Nyong'o, Martin Freeman is in this one. Looking at everyone, Forrest Whitaker, Andy Serkis, Angela Bassett.
And Batman.
She killed that role, to be honest.
She did.
I don't think any one of the characters was poorly written. We're going to talk about, I've seen questions on the old inner Google webs. Should Martin Freeman's character, Everett K. Ross, even have been in the movie?
I think so. It was a small tether, but a tether nonetheless back to what was going on in the storyline and stuff. He was a figure in Civil War where you weren't sure if he was on their side or not, and at the end of this movie, you definitively feel like he is on the side of least of the Wakandans.
But he's a good guy.
He is a good guy. But you didn't know that.
He might be conflicted with his duty.
Yeah.
It got slow in the middle. And we're going to get back to that.
We'll talk about that.
We're going to talk about that. But I want to ask you kids a question. What if in the next movie, Infinity War, we have Everett K. Ross in this movie next to Doctor Strange, and we have a Dr. Watson and Sherlock Holmes meeting of the same actors in the same movie playing different characters?
Yay!
That would make the kids happy.
Yeah.
This movie did not make the kids happy.
Well, is that
Yes, it
true?
did.
Now hold on, because I feel like we're also going off the fact that one of us started having stomach flu within hours of seeing the movie.
Right.
But yeah, we'll talk about the ratings, I think.
Well, yeah, we can talk about the ratings going through for this thing.
I'd like to say something.
Okay.
You have me wrong. I think the movie was a very good movie. I rated it like, what, 8?
Don't wait.
So tell him he's wrong when we get to that point.
When we get to that point. But as far as talking to you about it, trying to get any information out of you, you don't tell me anything. Thor Ragnarok, you wouldn't shut up about it.
Hey,
It doesn't this doesn't change the fact that you're wrong.
Well, it kind of does. I don't know if you don't talk to me.
well,
I'm talking to you right now.
I
And
know.
I talk all the time
Oddly
about
enough,
this.
Blah, blah,
we're
blah.
all talking about it right
Yes,
this moment.
Dad,
So let's go.
yes.
But we have things called pre-production meetings, breakfast, and dinner. A little bit on the movie specs. It's so far, after 4 days, made almost $240 million. We'll see what the drop-off is in the second weekend as far as repeat viewing. I want to see it again in a better theater.
Mhm.
I'm going to wait till it's on less expensive showings. Maybe a $5 showing or something like that.
Yeah, we could.
Because I don't need to sit through 2 hours and 14 minutes of this movie again, plus the 9 trailers they put at the beginning, and the credits, which this theater opened up the lights and turned the lights on before even the mid-credit scene.
I was like, are y'all new? What's going on?
When we get to favorite scenes, I thought this suffered a bit of DC-itis, insofar it was a little bit too long and verbose. It could have had more action interspersed and told the same story. I wished there was not the end battle scene, but there was more the end challenge was finished one-on-one again. But that goes into personal preference.
Okay.
Just no.
Villain. Let's talk about the villain, played by Michael B. Jordan,
All right.
who was in another Ryan Coogler, who directed this movie Creed. What did you kids think of Killmonger?
Poop.
Poop is what she says. What did you think of Killmonger?
Super poop.
So you did not like the villain. Did you not
Wow.
like it
Colored
because he was
green.
evil
Colored green.
and played it well, or you just didn't
Dude.
like the way that? Well, that's because he drank a lot of Gatorade. That'll do.
Y'all
it.
don't listen to this podcast if you're eating or anything.
And that is the last reference to that.
So can I ask a question? Did you not like the villain because you didn't like what he was doing to the world and like how he was being a villain, or did you not like the guy who was doing the villain? Like how do you not like him? Was he a jerk? Like was he a jerk villain?
One, I didn't like the way he communicated.
Right.
That's like how I'm saying it. Don't say it.
That's, well, I'm trying to clarify for our audience.
Yeah, and I also
He had some tude for sure.
Right.
I also didn't like. Yes, he did have attitude. I also didn't like him because he's like that. When he sits down on the throne, he's like.
So
I'm just like,
it sounds
no,
like you
don't have to.
didn't like you know he did. He came in and did what a villain's supposed to do, which is like what do you do? You know, you have that kind of reaction to what he's doing
Right.
to the world.
Right. And we don't live in the inner city of Chicago, LA, or New York, where perhaps you would hear more language like that. We live in a very blue-collar, white neighborhood.
I think what made it so stark is because, not Tony Stark, we were immersed in the movie in Wakanda where you're hearing them speak, as normal vernacular in their tribes. And then you do get this Killmonger coming in from his the hood in LA.
The streets of
And he's speaking
Oakland,
that. And I am that's something I am more familiar with. I feel like I hear that way more than what I would have heard from the Wakandans. But by then you've heard, you're over halfway through the movie. You've heard the Wakandans speak. And now that's a bit like, whoa. And partly I think that was a huge part of when he comes in and says, I want the throne. And they're like, who are you? You are not royalty like us. I think that was crucial to make that a stark difference between Killmonger, where he was coming from.
No, and I like it, and I like the way he spoke. I think that is hard for someone who hasn't grown up in that situation. Out of Oakland is where he was, not LA.
Right, sorry.
It did produce the stark contrast between an erudite, aristocratic king and a royal blood street thug. That's how he had to grow up after his father was murdered, which is a giant turn for T'Challa in this movie, which I thought drew out a lot of character. There was so much character in this movie. So let's rate the Killmonger kids. Out of 10.
Out of 10. Just 2.
2?
Just like a 2.5.
And I give them a strong 8.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think that comes from actually being older than you kids.
Yep.
And that's part of this podcast, is to see the difference between different eyes.
I feel like I'm not related to you.
Well,
Oh, wow.
I feel that a lot until you say something. And I'm like, I would say that.
Great living with more than one of you.
No.
I also give him a strong, I would say 8.5 for a villain. I really liked how they show you why he's a villain. They show
Right.
you where he came from. And you do not like him. You do not like how he comes in swooping in, acting like he's all that. But there are the villains that you're just like, oh, you make me so mad. And he fulfilled that perfectly, I thought. So 8.5.
Right. Killmonger, for me, ends up in the top 10 villains.
And me as well. You and I both, after seeing Black Panther and compiling this list, it was like, he made it up there. He was good.
Right. But he did not end up in the top 10 villains for the children.
He did not.
So maybe that's where I was getting, they didn't like the movie because they did not like Killmonger.
You know, but I have heard that in the couple of things I've seen of reactions of the movie and such, friends and people who've seen it. I have heard people say, I don't know that it's necessarily Killmonger, but it's the actor that he was not their favorite part. So it's not like the kids are alone in that.
True. I can see that. And he plays such a hardcore, he comes from a broken home, not broken because his father left him. There's no infrastructure to a support group for men to be men in that culture. You're afraid of the cops, and you get shot just because you're wearing a hoodie, things like that. So you can see that, and the anger comes out in this actor.
He did a great the scene where he is becoming the Black Panther and they bury him and he has his soul moment. Whew, I thought he nailed that part. You just feel he's angry at his dad, but he misses his dad, and he's upset about his state.
Right.
And his dad is just so broken.
And broken about that.
Okay, so I made this list last night, but I only have one because I was tired, but I think it's the best favorite scene of all the Black Panther. It's when, after he says he'll never freeze on that covert mission, he takes out a whole bunch of guys, then he sees his ex-girlfriend, he's like, and he freezes and he's like, hi. No, he literally says this. Hi. Exactly like that. Just long silence. Hi.
Hi.
We just
Long
had a little
silence.
buzzing that was weird, so hi. So it begins. The romance is starting to become
Ew.
one of the sauce's favorite scenes.
Oh,
I think he liked the awkward.
Okay,
I think he
Dad,
liked
I
the
actually
awkward.
feel like I don't know you anymore.
Anyway,
You
now
know
it is
me,
Freya's
I'll
girl's
remember.
turn.
So it's when T'Challa says, "I never freeze," just like Willis. But when his sister asks
Shuri?
if he freezed, the
Did you
lady
freeze?
person says he froze like an antelope in headlights.
That was so great because you could tell they had to think, did he do it? Did he?
Yeah, I really liked the Shuri scenes. She stole the scenes. She was very charismatic.
Mm-hmm.
The actress played her, and the tech. She was very Tony Stark. So I'm wondering if we're gonna get a Banner, Stark, Shuri
She'd be on
moment
par.
somewhere.
Well, and if you watch, I mean, there's some throwback for sure to the 007 movies. Like you felt
She's
very,
cute, totally
you
cute.
felt very much like she was Q to T'Challa, but yeah, she was great. She was fantastic. Good choice.
Cool. Also, one of my favorite lines was when he's testing out the new suit, and Shuri, his sister, is filming it, and he gets beat because of all the kinetic energy. He gets thrown back, which is amazing.
Yeah.
Which is just the exact same thing, if you think about it, that Cap's shield does.
Yes.
It rebounds the energy, but this one stores it technologically, and then upon will shoves it out, which is pretty amazing.
That is cool.
He gets thrown back. He's like, delete that footage.
That was
She's recording it. He's like,
that had us all busting up. That was great. I love the scene where T'Challa takes the second of his herbs to become the Black Panther and be healed at that point. And then he visits the dreamscape and confronts his father. How could you have left that child there, that boy alone? How could you have done that?
right.
And his father says, we have to protect our own. And T'Challa looks at all the former Black Panthers. You all did this wrong. I love the delivery of that because, he's coming into his own. He knows it was wrong. But now he's finally saying, no. And I'm not dying right now because I have to go back and fix this mess y'all made.
And he says, I can't rest here in peace knowing that we made this mess.
Yes, I really like that. It was a beautiful scene.
It was very good. The flashback when T'Chaka kills his brother. The actor that played T'Chaka was the actors who plays the old T'Chaka's son. So he wasn't digitally altered. That was actually his son playing his dad 30 years ago.
Interesting.
Yeah, so that's why he looks so similar, but not quite the same. And he's like, and he has the same voice inflection and everything because he is his son. John Kani, K-N-I, I think I'm pronouncing that properly. And it was his son who played the young T'Chaka.
Nice. That's cool.
Very cool. I think that's the way you can really DH people when they look similar.
That's like back when Ray Fiennes, when his nephew played a young Voldemort.
It was Joseph Fiennes' kid.
And you're just like, whoa. So I like when they do that, when they're able to incorporate that and they just really make it like, no, this is believable because, well, they are bladed.
What I did like was Claw being completely crazy.
He was crazy.
I mean, like, he was just bonkers nuts and over the top, and I thought that was amazingly good.
That was he's always going to be a very strong actor. He did a really good job with that. I'm kind of sad we won't see him anymore.
Well,
unless he gets brought back in some way. I don't know how, because Killmonger pretty much shot him dead.
Well, they showed him dead.
Yes.
They opened the body bag.
Ah, yes.
But they couldn't have him spit up a little blood. Anyway, I'm going to harp on this until I get an apology letter directly from Mickey.
Disney. From Mickey?
From Mickey himself.
Mickey, you heard it here. I really liked the General, and I liked the point in the final battle. She's probably my favorite part of the final battle, where, I mean, she stops the Rhino, and because that's her lover up there, and the Rhinos basically live with them, so the Rhino's not going to run her over. But that was the one weakness that Rhino had. And her husband gets down, and she's holding him at spear point, and he's like, what, you're not going to kill me over Wakanda? She goes, for Wakanda, I would do anything, basically.
Yeah, that's not exactly, I think, you bet I would, or something like that, right?
Yes.
It was something, I can't remember.
I would for Wakanda, or something like that. But just, and the fierceness and the emotion in her that she knows she'd have to choose between the two things she loves. She's going to choose her country over this man. And that was, I really liked that. That moment was, ooh. Plus, woman power.
Do you guys have a favorite fight?
I said no.
No?
No.
So, my favorite fight, I don't have one because I can't remember something.
So, it's no.
Right. Because this goes around to my favorite scene is the casino fight.
Mm-hmm.
And major battle there, which coincides with the Stan Lee cameo, which I'll get your kids' input on here. But I liked how they went in with no weapons or their hidden weapon.
Mm-hmm.
And, super human strength, really, the Black Panther strength. It was very suave. Talking about James Bond, that was very James Bond. He puts down $1 million in chips or whatever that was. The top chip was 100,000 chip, and it looked like there was 10 of them. And he wins. And then it leads into the Stan Lee cameo. We'll just put these over here for safekeeping, shall we? Right? Such a cool old gambler move, And
he's nobody. Again, he's just a dude.
He's just a dude. He's not playing somebody famous. He's not playing himself or whatever. There was the other Stanley cameos, which we haven't discussed in our podcasts, where in Guardians of the Galaxy 2, he's actually one of the Watchers. He's not human. And that's what he is everywhere. He's watching all of this for the race of the Watchers. It's a comic reference.
Who?
Stan Lee.
Yeah.
When we get there, we'll go over that again.
Yeah.
But going through those were major battles and, our favorite scenes, kind of crossing it together. What did you think about your favorite battles, favorite scenes?
So I'm torn about favorite battles. I really did. I loved, and I'm going to kind of lump it in the same thing, casino battle plus car chase. I thought those were exceptionally well done. I thought the timing was great. Action was great. It was wonderfully edited. Excellent
Music was
effects.
amazing.
It was really good.
Right.
But I really did like the ritual battles. I thought those were so beautiful. I liked that, just the culture around it. I loved the backdrop of the tribes. I loved how they represented the different tribes approaching to say, do you challenge? No, we do not challenge at this time. M'Baku challenging T'Challa and that battle, and then later, yes, the ritual battle between Killmonger and T'Challa. I thought those were great. It was just a really felt very epic to me.
Right. And those are straight from the comics. Those are pulled from the pages of the comics. Those artists drew things that were just like that.
It was so cool. I really liked how they presented that, and the whole withdrawing, they made T'Challa give up, the power of the Black Panther to have those battles. So you knew he was on the same footing, or on the same level, same playing field as his opponent.
Right.
I just really liked those a lot. I thought those were good.
We're going to rate the Stan Lee cameo. We're going to start with me. I'm going to rate this a 10 out of 10. It was a perfect cameo.
I don't remember this cameo.
The casino where he steals all the chips.
I'm just going to...
over here. Yeah,
So
I rate that 9 point.
Whatever it is, we're going to call it 9.9 out of 10.
Okay. Yeah, I'd give it a 9 out of 10. It was really good. Actually, no, I'm just going to give it a 10 out of 10. I can't think of anything that would have made it any better.
Right. And how about the Furious Girl?
10.
She gives away 10s sparingly.
Sparingly.
So she loved that one. That was a good one.
Wait, I changed it to 10 as well, so we all rate it 10 out of 10.
You got a 9.9.
10.
Okay.
10.
We've seen every other movie we've talked about at least twice, if not 4 or 5 times.
Yeah, this is the first time we're reacting after
This is a
only seeing
reaction
it
podcast.
once.
So we're moving through this quite quickly. We're going to talk about the mid-credits scene. That's the one where they're in front of the United Nations, and you're like, we're going to share our technology.
And they think that they're like...
The one jerk dude, right?
Yeah, so the other people are like, you guys are like poor. Maybe a few like trees and land you can give us. And one complete jerk is like, what can you give us? And then Ross smiles, and all the Wakandans in there smile, and they're like,
A wry smile for sure.
It's
Like you have no idea.
yeah, they're
Petty human beings.
Furious Girl, what did you think about that scene?
I don't know, because I can't remember.
Okay.
You were probably tired.
But
Like I said,
I gave it an 8 out of 10.
because you did your notes on this one like a proper
job.
journalist.
Yes.
We'll go with the end credit after this one.
hello.
Yeah, I liked that one because, I don't know, I just liked it. I loved that it did kind of recognize that they were part of the world, but now they're going to be, actually be part of the world, saying, well, let's tell you what we really have. It's a risk. I really liked that whole notion of, if we tell the world what we have, what's to stop them from coming in and taking it? It's like, well, and there was a line in there too, which might drive back to some of my favorite scenes and lines, where someone said, we're strong enough to help the world and also defend ours.
Right.
And I really like that. So that, from that line to this moment where they're like, let's put all our cards on the table, and the fact that Wakanda was like, we have so much to offer you. We're pretty much your Asgard on this planet.
Right. Now, Asgard does get destroyed in the comics.
Mm-hmm. That
Hela destroying, maybe not in that exact way, does happen in the comics, and they move to Oklahoma.
Oh my god.
Right, because there's tons of fjords in Oklahoma. If by fjords you mean tornadoes, then yes.
So I think I would give it probably an 8 out of 10. It was good. It was solid.
Right. It does lead into the future of the MCU. It's going to change the world. Right now we have tensions around the world, of course, and, tons of political strife, both in and outside the United States of America. It's going to change that. It's going to have to be an MCU where that doesn't really exist anymore, where it's going to be more unified, especially what happens in the next movie.
That's interesting that you mentioned that. Do you guys think that, Wakanda's got, I want to say, Asgard level weapons that the world does not have? I don't even know. Tony Stark, did you guys hear by the way, when Claw was doing this?
It was the same special effect.
I wonder if Wakanda is really gonna help with the world, if they will actually elevate the weaponry of the planet as far as defense for when Thanos
will they have time? Because I think Thanos comes pretty quickly after this.
Okay, so I think that Claw's... I think it's more like...
It's different.
No, I think it's more like Hydra's weapons.
So it's based on a different technology. That's right. It's the same company doing the same special effects, so it's going to be like that. So, because we are not special effects, we're not Ben Burt. Anyway, he's the one that did all this Star Wars special effects. He came up with the lightsaber sound. So I'm going to give, if I was going to rate this, I rate it an 8 as well, because it does push the story forward. It changes the MCU into more of a fantastical way. Now we're going to go to the end credit scene. The end credit scene wakes up with a couple of kids poking some dude, and that dude ends up being Bucky, the Winter Soldier. Yeah. And they're just poking him like he's all right. And they call him the White Wolf, which is a comic reference to the leader of the War Dogs for Wakanda.
Right.
Now, does he become the leader of the War Dogs for Wakanda in the future movies? And probably not. I'm going to say probably not.
I think they probably just threw that in as a throw.
Right, because they're going to pull the War Dogs home and not have the War Dogs going forward. So they use that reference as fan service in a way that fan service should be done. So what did you guys think about seeing the Winter Soldier and what he says at the end credit scene?
What did he say again?
10 out of 10. Duh.
He says, yeah, well, we can call you, the soldier, and it's call me Bucky.
Oh.
Yeah, so he's like, he's remembered who he is. Maybe Shuri's technology has pulled him back.
Mm-hmm.
It took a shot spine and healed it in 24 hours. So, children,
Yes.
rate the end scene.
10 out of 10.
She loved it.
I don't know.
He's like, I'm gonna look up the White Wolf when we get home. I can't remember what it referenced.
Yeah,
he was
you
so into it.
You didn't let me.
It was
Because
late.
it was late, man. And I looked it up for you.
Okay.
I would also say 10 out of 10. It was... Bucky is one of my favorite, very pitiable characters, and so it was really cool to see that. So that Wakanda played a... And if you guys remember, at the end of Civil War, they put him, basically T'Challa and Steve are standing there, and T'Challa is basically saying, we'll take care of him.
Right.
And he's frozen, and you're just like, okay, they're going to freeze him. Because that's what Bucky had said. He's like, just freeze me, I can't be trusted, freeze me until you need me again. That is not what they did. They healed him.
Well, he was saying freeze me until it can be remedied.
Yeah, and so it sounds like they remedied it, which is so cool.
That's not exactly what he said, but that was what he was intending. I can't remember the actual line.
Yeah.
But I really liked it. Now, we're going to get into something here. We're going to go over the actual rating.
Can you say something?
I wanted to say something. I think that Siri or someone actually makes another arm for him, maybe. So he can fight.
Well, no, we see that because in the Avengers Infinity War trailer, Bucky, Winter Soldier, is running right alongside Rogers with a new arm.
Well, is it a human arm? Or
No, it's a full mechanical arm. So
Made of vibranium? Ooh.
we're thinking it's a vibranium arm.
Imagine.
Now, in the comics, Steve Rogers dies, and Bucky becomes the new Captain America.
Right.
Like, this happens in the
that's
comics.
cool.
I don't think they'll do that in the MCU. I think that's too much of a stretch. But I think what they do is they make Bucky a more sympathetic Captain America-like hero alongside
He's very sympathetic.
And
Right.
so I just want to say that the government is still probably after Barnes.
They're probably all still after Steve Rogers, too. I had a few rating systems in mind. We always go out of 10
Yes.
somethings. I thought about Killmonger kill scars, because when he took off his shirt, you can see all the people he murdered, and he was proud of all those murders
Yep.
or assassinations or kills. I'm like, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
Then I thought about 10 out of 10 heart-shaped flowers that gives the Panther his power from the vibranium.
Yeah.
Then I thought about 10 out of 10 vibranium meteors. But we're going to go out of 10 times T'Challa gets stabbed, because he got stabbed a lot in this.
Oh, yeah.
T'Challa stabbings is the rating.
I will have to say, I rated it 8.7. Didn't I? 8.7 out of 10. Stabbing T'Challa, so I stabbed him 8.7 times.
8.7 out of 10.
I stabbed him 8.7 times.
8.7 T'Challa stabbed.
You did not actually stab him
Yes, I did.
No, these are times he got stabbed by other people.
I still stabbed him.
Anyway,
because you're a boy.
9.5 out of 10 stabs.
All right. I just need to pause for a moment. I would like us to just remember back about 20 minutes ago when the Databite said, you kids really didn't like this movie.
I know, right?
Dad.
because you guys wouldn't talk to me about it.
Dad.
Because I was trying to get you to talk to me about it. Guess who wouldn't talk?
Because we were sleeping.
So this afternoon?
Yes.
No.
Maybe they were being secretive and be like, we're not going to tell you until
Okay, all the times you did try to get us out of it, which wasn't this afternoon, we were half asleep. Dawn was actually asleep.
She was literally asleep. So those are some high scores, I would
Right.
say.
Yeah,
Right,
Dad.
so I stand corrected.
Correct.
They liked it more than I did.
I gave it an 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10 T'Challa stabbings. Stabbings of T'Challa.
Okay,
Stabbings of T'Challa,
you stabbed
T'Challa
him.
stabbings.
What about you?
7.5. I did 7.5 because it got slow in the middle.
Yes. No, that makes sense. It did. There were a couple places I thought the editing could have shored that up a bit.
Right.
I actually thought of a few, but...
And I thought that the end war scene between the tribes did not serve the movie. Now, I think there needed to be a little bit more humor. There was a lot of humor.
Right.
But like I said,
it wasn't Ragnarok.
The lull, it doesn't need to be Ragnarok funny because that went a little too far. You missed some things because you were laughing so hard.
Yes.
You hit so hard. Now, I think there just should have been a little bit more throughout the whole thing to keep it lighter. Or actually go full on a little bit darker. I think it was just where it ended up being was a little too gray as far as how much humor is. But what hit well.
Yes.
Like when M'Baku was, they're all having their moment at the end. Oh, you done? Are you done now?
Are you done?
Yeah.
Can you leave now?
And right before that, Everett K. Ross's character was a little out of place. He's like, I don't really know what's going on here. You can just tell he's a little uncomfortable because who wouldn't be when you find out there's this hidden technologically advanced tribe who is supposed to be a third world country that has hovering things, and now they're in the gorilla tribes,
and you're in the midst of a coup, and
a whole military coup that can destroy the world. He's kind of a little overwhelmed. And then, M'Baku's like, you be quiet or I'm going to feed you to my children. And he's all fierce. And he's like, you can see his face. Martin Freeman's face is just priceless.
That was a great line, too.
I'm a vegetarian.
That was a great line. You're feeding my children. We're like, whoa.
Right.
All right, then. That was good.
I thought, they went so dark when Claw dies. Mm-hmm. Right. And he's showing Killmongerishness. But then right before that, it was Claw being, he's laughing at things blowing up around him. I thought they played the dialogue for the white characters in here, not dumbing them down to make someone else look better.
Right.
Which is easy to do when you have a racially potent movie. You could easily do something like that. And I thought they did well making Everett K. Ross, Alex P. Keaton's great nephew, whatever that is. They made him a fish out of water, but not an idiot.
Right.
Which I think is hard to do, and Martin Freeman pulled it off. Yeah. And just in my 2 cents, he has a better American accent than Benedict Cumberbatch.
To just bring this back full circle, wrap this up. So we've given you guys our UnpauseIt Cruise overall overview, ratings and everything, and our thoughts. What we're going to start doing with a lot of our future, immediate reaction podcasts. So this is talking about a release of a movie happens. We're able to immediately react to it. We've already had several of our friends, local and beyond, ask if they can be parts of our podcast going forward. I know we have Alex from church really wants to be in on our Star Wars ones. I know a couple people from work want to do that too. For this particular podcast, I did reach out to a family of friends that I have in Memphis, Tennessee, and I actually got on a Skype call with them to hear their feedback.
I'm unmuting. I'm laughing at your cat.
I know. Well, he'll be back because anytime I'm on video, he's like, "Hi, I need to be in this." And I'm like, "You do not."
Yeah. He's supposed to go to Chuck E. Cheese, and I was just thinking, I was like, why don't they sell adult beverages at Chuck E. Cheese? Because you need them.
Because I feel like they started putting beer at some of them.
Well, I don't know that. Well, you know what? They hadn't done it here. They probably nah, Memphis, y'all just can't handle it.
I try to avoid Chuck E. Cheese's at all costs. So
it spawns demons. Those kids are evil. I witnessed so many crimes. His coins, and then another little boy came up and snatched them and ran off. And I was like, what is this?
I don't go. I mostly don't go because anytime we go, eventually some kid somewhere is like, "Mom, why is this so wet over here?" And it's because some child is not had the patience and not gone to the bathroom when they should have gone to the bathroom. So,
that's gross.
Gross. I know. On that note, let's proceed out of that. Introduce yourselves, first name and age.
So I'm Vanita. I am 41.
I'm Taylor, and I am 15.
What is one word you would use to describe Black Panther after seeing it?
Taylor, you want to go first?
Marvelous.
Marvelous. Last week you said shook.
Yeah.
That too.
That too.
That too. What about you, V?
Dude, I still say groundbreaking. I think it was beyond amazing.
What was one of your favorite scenes? Taylor, I'll start with you. One of your favorite scenes in the movie?
Any scene with his little sister.
Shuri?
Yes, she was just amazing.
It was so cool to see her in this position, like, I know all the things and all the tech that is going to make your life easier. That was pretty cool, huh?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Go see it again.
What about, Vanita, what's one of your favorite scenes?
My scene was when Okeo, I think I can't ever say her name right, but the general was in the car in the chase scene. And so there's just like her on top of the vehicle during this chase with this red gown just blowing behind her. I mean, like that was just visually stunning. That was my favorite. And when they were in the club and they're fighting and she's like takes off this bad wig and she throws it at the dude. That's so funny. It's beautiful. I think that somebody's got like a t-shirt now that's floating around the internet and it's like a picture of her in that gown with the spear. And I was just like, I need that in my life. Yeah.
How'd you feel? Because I would have to say, I think she's my favorite character. Her lover is like coming up on the rhino and she stands in front of the rhino. And I'm like, oh my God, is she going to fight the rhino? How'd you feel about when she faces down her boyfriend with that spear and, she has to basically choose between him and Wakanda?
Like, I mean, you know what? He made bad choices. So I'm like, I'm not even mad at that. It's like, dude, really? This is what we're doing? I was not mad at that. I was like, well, you're going to choose today, son, aren't you? You're going to choose today.
Taylor, was Shuri your favorite character?
Of course.
I remember your mom has put out that she thinks Shuri should be the new symbol for the Black Girls Code, I think, and we talked a little bit about that.
Yeah.
Do you think that's fitting as far as like her being kind of leading that tech movement for Black girls coding and getting into STEM and stuff like that?
Yeah, I actually did a Black Girls Code program.
I want to learn code. I want to learn it. So the fact that you're doing it, was it fun?
Yeah, it was fun. I got to make like a little game. It had something to do with carrots.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's been like well over a year, I think. Yeah.
Well, y'all heard it here. Taylor's going to be coding and, doing it professionally for a while. We were talking about our favorite battle scenes when we did the podcast. I don't know if you guys want to talk about that too, how you felt about the ritual combats and stuff. And because you talked about that a little bit last week too.
Yeah, I did. So like for me, it was just really cool because you've got all of this infusion of tech. And then there's just this one piece that is still, and not maybe just one piece, there's plenty of pieces, but there's just this one part, that whole scenery and imagery where it's just basically, it's cultural, it's, tradition, and it's all woven in there to show that the two can coexist. And I think a lot of times we think that you either have to have tech and science or you've got to have tradition, and that there is no marrying the two. And they show that you can do both.
I liked them because of the little dances that they did on the rock where they were like, ooh, 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 ooh.
That was so cool. Well, it built the intensity a ton.
She says she and her friends are doing that now at school.
We went on a college tour like the other day. And when we were on Vanderbilt's campus, one of the people from our school, they had on the dashiki. And so they saw her with the dashiki and they just yelled out, Wakanda forever. And then all of us did Wakanda forever.
Awesome. I have a hashtag board at my work, and I put Wakanda Day on it, which I hadn't seen the movie yet. And everybody's like, what is that? And I'm like, are you new? Do you not know what's coming up?
Yeah. Again, I think everything that they did just visually was fantastic. Like, I don't know what the Oscars qualifications are for giving people, an Oscar, but, that was pretty dope to me. But I just think, like, you've got rhinos coming out of somewhere. It's like rhinos, like, and I saw him with the rhinos initially. And I was like, oh my God, we got battle rhinos. Like, what is that? But just that entire thing and watching, I wasn't prepared for Shuri coming out, guns blazing. Like, I just didn't really, I don't know what I expected, but I just wasn't expecting that. you know, and then you've got Nakia coming out in Dora clothing, and she's like, I'm not a Dora, but I mean, here she is, despite all her humanitarian efforts, like she's going to town. It's just, that is fantastic. And then having Black Panther come up, you know, finally is like, oh, you know, here I am, I'm back.
So cool. Like, well, I did not yield, and as you can see, I am not dead. That was so cool.
Yeah. I was like, oh my God, it's on now. Yeah. So
Killmonger, being the villain, basically, we were like making up our list of top 10 villains in the Marvel universe, and Killmonger made it in the top 10 as far as like one of the best developed, authentic, just really, you know, pardon me, kick-ass, you know, villains that's out there. But what'd you guys think of Taylor? What'd you think of Killmonger as a villain going up against Black Panther and really the whole Wakandan tribes and stuff?
He wasn't like your typical villain. Like nobody would have thought that he would have been from Wakanda until he put down his little lips, and I was like, what?
I liked some of the stuff he was talking about as far as like maybe even going too far, but he's like, we can't just keep Wakanda tech here by ourselves. It's our duty to go out and help other, you know, people out there. What'd you guys think about that?
Well, I mean, I thought, you know, it's kind of interesting because every once in a while I look at it from this, you know, entire lens of Black struggle, Black liberation struggle, right? And so you've got like a good contrast between Booker T. Washington, W.E.B. Du Bois. So it's that same question about what's the best way to help people and to move everyone forward. And so I thought that he had some really good points. Like, what's the point of being this really powerful nation if you've got the means by which to help others? You know, how do you do that? And I think even for Americans, we find that whole contrast too. It's like, we've got issues here. Why are we now the world's police? And you have T'Challa asking, you know, or just grappling with the fact. So once we do this, we invite people in. We invite folks in to possibly take advantage of us. We invite in war. Are we going to be going out here using our weaponry and military to, you know, fight other people's battles, where you've got somebody like Nakia saying, well, we can help, we can actually help people. And so it's a real struggle. And I think Killmonger brings a good perspective to that. It's like, what's the use of being an advanced nation when there are other people who are struggling? I think that he and Nakia are on the same wavelength there as far as what they're supposed to be doing and how they should be helping others. Now Killmonger goes radically, you know, way left. Now we're gonna kill everybody. Like, we going in, you know, we're gonna be on top. You know, and it's just like there are like levels to this, and he's like already at level 100. Like, now we wiping them all out. We can do this. And, you know, and should we be doing that?
Right.
Or maybe we should. I don't know. You know, like, you know, he has some valid concerns there. So
you guys talked about the difference between kind of the dreamscape sequence when after you got T'Challa takes the black, you know, the herb.
Oh, yeah.
He goes and sees, you know, the Black Panthers and his deceased father. Then you've got Killmonger takes the black herb or the herb later, and he goes in his dreamscape and sees just a totally different scene with his dad, which was really heartbreaking. What do you guys think of the differences between, you know, just seeing those two scenes?
I thought that they was gonna be in like the same area, but I didn't know that it was based on like where their ancestors left off at, and it was kind of sad because like that's all he knows from his father. But I thought it was cool I thought it was interesting that like his father could only see him as a kid instead of like his grown up.
Yeah. That was kind of sad. Yeah.
Yeah. I gotta say too, I loved when T'Challa on his second dreamscape and how he calls out the Black Panthers like, you guys are wrong. And actually taking what, you know, Killmonger, you know, part of what he had said was like, it's wrong of us to keep this to ourselves. It's wrong of us to leave people out and instead of trying to go help them with our tech. And so I like that he found that new path, even if he had to go up against Killmonger for it, right?
I think he had been kind of pushed there anyway. I think Nakia, you know, just had some influence on him there. But I think just really kind of seeing Killmonger and watching that and, you know, having to question it for himself and then discovering, you know, what happened, how, like, he felt like his father was responsible for who the person Killmonger was, right? That you left him here. Why didn't you bring him back?
Yep.
You know, you left him. And so you helped create where we are right now with this kind of villain. So, you know, and I think that that's true again, if I like expand that outside of just the movie, but we see it in, you know, all of the wars, right? That some piece of something helped create one thing that became this domino effect of how we end up in the mess that we're in, and how you have to be careful about what it is that you're trying to do.
Yeah.
So it's, you know, good intentions gone bad, you know, kind of thing.
That's right. Definitely inspires you to treat your siblings better, does it not, Taylor? Like treat your family members, be like, oh, I don't know, Naomi some days she'd like come back at me, be like, what's up?
You see, I have been a great big sister. When I was out of town, I brought her back some Peeps, and she still do me wrong.
Can y'all wait for Infinity War though? Because this is gonna be. I mean, Black Panther's amazing, but now it's all gonna come together. And seeing the general in the fight with all the, I cannot wait.
Oh yeah, now I cannot wait. I mean, it's just like although I'm scared, but I kept, you know, like thinking about Infinity War. I'm like, okay, so if Tony Stark doesn't make it out, but we got Shuri, right? So we can continue like tech advances. We got Shuri. Somebody make sure that she's safe.
Yeah, build a wall around Shuri. We need Shuri.
Right. You know, Tony, you've been cool, man, but you know, if you got to tap out, I understand. We got somebody to back you up, though. We got somebody.
Well, can you wait? Taylor, imagine Shuri, if she gets to meet up with Tony Stark and Bruce Banner. I mean, because she's on their level, if not above it. But can you imagine that meetup where like they're all talking tech with each other and she's like,
I bet they're gonna be like surprised as to what she can do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I was still kind of salty about the fact that M'Baku was like, you've entrusted your technology to a child. I'm like, dude,
right?
Have you seen our tech? Like, man, you know, sit down now. He was good. I thought that, you know, it was interesting for him to come out and challenge, you know, when T'Challa was being crowned, and then to just, you know, show up like, no, I'm not doing. And then all of a sudden you hear them like, oh my God, yes! You know, I don't know that means that they will remain cool, right. But you know, just kind of one of those things like, all right, we can come help this time.
Well, and you get a hint of that too with, you know, they have their ritual combat, and T'Challa finally is going to dominate him, and he could kill him, and you hear him, dude, yield right now, your people need you, and he does yield. He doesn't say, forget you, just kill me. He sees that, no, you're right, I wish I would have, but I do need to go lead my people. So there's some nobility there where he's like, you can tell maybe there was a path that he was going to come back and help, right?
I don't know that I really expected him to come back and help. I didn't, but I do think that he was definitely noble in that he, you know, was like, all right, well, we pulled old boy out the water. Mm-hmm. We put him on ice for you, you know, see what you can do. No, I ain't helping. All right, let me do one time, you know, like, you know, but I don't know that I expected him to.
Yeah.
I was glad that he did. I just didn't expect him to.
I liked the where it's like, be quiet or I'll feed you to my children. What was that? I was going to ask you guys. Oh, God, where'd it go? It was in my brain just now, and then my son threw me off. Hang on. Yeah, you did. It's fine. You threw me off. It's fine. We talked last time, too, and you guys, you know, I hadn't seen it yet, and I'd seen all kind of predictions and stuff. The fact that you didn't see an Infinity Stone, which everybody thought the Soul Stone would be in Wakanda, and you didn't see it. We actually had our own theory about
you got
that.
The same theory now too. So like I talked to one of my coworkers, he's like, you don't think that the herb is really the Soul Stone? Yes, that makes all the sense,
right,
in the world. Right. Yeah,
it does. I mean, because we were looking at all like, well, after they took it, they went on this like soul kind of journey, and it turns, I'm like, it could. So we think that the Soul Stone is part of what spawns the herbs. So
yeah. So, but now here's a question: if Killmonger burned down everything, and they only took the one and they used it, I don't know.
Not gone. I mean, obviously that did happen, but we're like, I don't know. I think there's more to it. There's probably going to be, what if there's another, maybe they didn't find all of the ways and places of Soul Stone.
Right.
Maybe like the fire, like help drop seeds. Because like wildfires and trees, like you need wildfires to get more trees.
That's right.
So maybe.
Yeah. Point. Yeah.
That's right. Well, and the ether being one of the soul stones in that form, but that did the same thing where it would like protect itself from being destroyed. So, see, so that is exactly what we thought. Yeah. Like, I think it is in Wakanda, and we just haven't seen an actual stone, but it's
because some of the battle scenes from the trailer are in Wakanda, right? Yeah. So
yeah. And oh my gosh. Can we wait for Shuri to develop the Cap's new shield out of vibranium?
Oh my gosh! Right, right. Yeah. Ooh, there's so much there. I cannot wait.
See, so y'all gonna have to go see it again today. You're gonna go see it again today, maybe?
Yeah, I think so. I think we can see it today. We probably will. Yeah,
we should go see it. You guys got all decked out to go see the movie last time. Taylor, you broke code to dress up for going to see Black Panther, right? What did you do?
Well, I was at a uniform that day when I wasn't supposed to be, but it was okay because, you know, at the end of the day, I had actually unzipped my jacket because I was hiding it, but then I had got hot, so I just said, I unzipped my jacket and I said, oh, well, whatever, I don't care. Like, I mean, it's a national holiday, basically. So.
So how did you guys enjoy it? Like, you know, so what was like your favorite?
I loved every part of it. We did feel like it dragged a little bit in the middle, like when it got to more of the exposition stuff and the more dramatic stuff. But I felt like the battle scenes more than made up for it. Again, it gave us one of the strongest villains I think we've seen throughout the whole MCU. So well developed. You saw a total background to the origin story even of it. And I really liked the complexity of, you know, T'Challa having to kind of find his own way and saying, you know, I've got a history of Black Panthers behind me.
Yep.
Doesn't mean I have to do the same thing y'all did. You know, we need a new way forward.
Right.
But man, I love what you said too. I think what I loved the most was that blending of culture and tech and just this stinking scenery was beautiful, and they just gave so much thought to every scene. They had a little bit of comedy. I know Maya said he would have liked a little more comedy. Just, of course, we're coming off Thor Ragnarok is the last one we saw, so whoa, that was heavy on the comedy. Maya and Willis both liked when when Shuri is, you know, she's having T'Challa kind of look at the suits, right? And he picks the one, and she's like, and he punches it and he knocks it out. She goes, send it up, punch it in the same place. And she starts recording. He's like, what are you doing? You're recording this? And she's like, for research. And then he like knocks it, boom, across the floor. Erase that recording.
That was so funny. It was like, oh my God, that's hilarious. I mean, it's just so, like the ribs on him. I mean, it was so very much like Big Brother, Kid Sister, like vibe the entire way through that. It was hilarious. I loved it. Yeah.
It was so good. And then when she flipped him off, you know, later, and they're like, did he freeze? Like Georgia like that one, like an antelope in the headlights.
Oh God! Yeah.
we did really like it. The characters were all really well developed. It was really good, and the kids. I think the kids actually they outscored it from us. Like I think I gave it like a 7.9. Like average of adults was like an 8 out of 10. The kids like got it up to like a 9 out of 10. I think it was one of their favorites combined. So. It really enjoyable and obviously just awesome next step in the Marvel universe. And then again, I mean, enjoyable on all fronts because it had such a larger message and it was awesome.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, there's just so much in between there. And there are actual real things that you need to consider about how you approach the world and what your duty is in the world and what leadership that you need. So I just really enjoyed it for the larger context there.
Yeah.
And I still really love the ending, you know, because even in all of this, you know, T'Challa's like Killmonger's on his last leg, and you know, he's like, we can save you, though, right? You know, like, and he's like, no, you know, bury me in the ocean.
Yeah.
Or my ankles would jump from the ship. I was like, oh my God, yes. You know, because that's a real, that's real. That I don't know how you get more realer than that, right? Because that's something that actually happened. And people are like, well, why are they killing? They know, what fate, awaits you for bondage. And it's just like, no, that's okay. And so for him to go out saying that, it's like, man.
Yeah.
Ooh, brother, you are deep.
It was deep. It was really good. It was awesome.
A little extra, but you were deep.
Any last thoughts that you guys want to share, Taylor? Anything else? I know last time you guys were like, everybody should go see it all the time, but anything else that you want to share about it?
I'm so happy to go see it again.
Yeah, I mean, like, people are going back. So I'm definitely going to see it again. I intend to have that on DVD because I need to be able to watch it whenever. I like Spider-Man Homecoming. Like, I thought that was kind of funny and cool because I'm a big Spider-Man person. So, I got a little worried when they were going to reboot it again. I'm like, you guys have been disappointing me of late. But Homecoming was really good. So I was like, all right, that's cool. And so now I would want that too.
Yeah. So. No, I'm with you. Spider-Man, he's one of my favorites because he's so sassy. He's like always has, I'm going to quip my way through New York and just make sure I have a comment for everything. I'm like, that's.
Yep. Yeah, right.
Obviously, people are going back to see it. So,
obviously people are. And then there are the people who just didn't get a chance to see it. So they're looking at us like, oh, we saw you on Facebook. You saw it. And it's like, yes, and you need to go. Just
go right now.
Stop what you're doing and just go. Just go and enjoy it. And I'm sorry y'all had like a crappy screen experience because we saw it in IMAX.
Right.
And that was friggin' amazing. So it's like, that was the only way to go. And people were doing like several, I should have gone, but I had other stuff to do. But people were doing like several premieres and seeing it again. And I was like, so is this an IMAX? Are y'all going to do this premiere in IMAX or no? Oh, you're not in IMAX? Nah. I don't want to see that. Not if it's not in IMAX. So we've decided, I think, like just us as a family, there is no way that we're watching any more MCU movies unless we're in IMAX. Like that's done. Like I think I'm probably going to start completely over leading up to Infinity War, and I'm just going to watch everything again because after we saw Black Panther, I was like, okay, well, I want to see Civil War again because when we saw Bucky at the cutscenes, I was like, you know what? Let me go back and watch Civil War again because I need to get ready for Infinity War.
Ladies, thank you for making up this time for me. You can listen and be like, it's us.
Okay.
Half-hour screen times for the kids this week, starting tomorrow for Furious Girl. Lost Legacy, PS4.
That's a good one. You're farther in that than I am, for sure.
Way farther than I am, too. ... Remains to be seen. I think he will have half hours this week. His grades are coming up.
Yay! I'm out. I've said all the things I meant to say.
Right. It does lead into, as we end our podcast, it does lead into directly Avengers Infinity War, which is the next release, May 4th, 2018. 2.5 months. Not a long time to really wait for this one. May 4th is Marvel's weekend. That's when Civil War comes out. That's when Ultron came out. That weekend of the May is when all of that happens. This ties right into it. Bucky being the very end credits does pull it back. Everett K. Ross pulls it back. We're going to have other than MCU podcasts going forward.
We're going to have a Minecraft podcast.
The kids teaching us how to play Minecraft because I've never played it. And now we have it on our Nintendo Switch, and after we came up with this idea to do this, teaching us thing, I did not even start playing it. So I've never played Minecraft. They're going to kind of sit down and walk us through how to play Minecraft.
God help them.
A couple of video game stuff. I think as soon as Furious Girl finishes Lost Legacy, we're going to have a Furious Girl rate Lost Legacy.
I think we should. I mean, she's... Honestly, because I've played through that too, where I've heard her talk about points of it, and I get to that point, I'm like, how did she get through this?
So we'll find out. So we're going to do a podcast on that, some video games, pop culture. We're going to have a Denver Comic-Con podcast.
We are. We're going to be a presence at Denver Comic-Con this year, which is in mid-June, which we have to get our tickets. But yeah, we'll be there. Keep an eye out for us. If you're going to Denver Comic-Con, you'll see us by our logo, the pause and play. The pause and play logo. I'm like, what do I call that? The pause and play logo. But again, send us your stuff. If you guys have ideas for things you want us to review, it might be games we've never tried before. We're more than happy to do that because, like I said, we've got the full spread of ages and genders and perspectives here at UnpauseIt.com.
Thank you for listening.
Bye.
Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, or YouTube, and visit us at UnpauseIt.com.